recorded live in Jacksonville, Florida. This is Trivial Warfare. More than just a pub quiz, Trivial Warfare is your gateway to a worldwide trivia community. Join your hosts, Jonathan.
We just described Ric Flair as Neanderthal Man and Planet of the Apes.
Carmela.
That would irritate the hell out. I'm like, I just want my groceries. My ice cream is melting.
Ben.
4 halogens in that list? Oh my God.
You're like, it's not the halogens. I'm like, no, Ben, no.
Those damn halogens got me again.
Erin.
I haven't started cooking more, but I have started thinking about cooking more, so I've looked at a lot of recipes for things. Mostly cocktails.
Zakia.
I'm a very happy evil genius.
Yeah.
And Nick.
For all the listeners out there, if you spend enough money, you can be where I am today.
And the rest of the Trivial Warfare Army for another week of fun and games. Now here's your host, Jonathan Oakes.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Trivial Warfare. We are the podcast that takes the pub quiz out of the pub and brings it home to you. My name is Jonathan and I'm here today with Nick Groves. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Jonathan.
I'm here today with Erin Barkley. Hello, Erin.
Hello, Jonathan.
Erin, right behind you on the shelf, is that an image of a stapler with a cat tail, or what am I looking at there?
Swan.
It's a swan.
Yeah, what? No, it's a swan. It's the wingspan nesting box, the big box.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
That's what it is. It says wingspan at the top. Yep.
Yeah, it's a swan.
I'm not dead.
Stapler with a
I'm
cat
nesting.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
Stop looking at me, Swan. Hey, we got 2 amazing guests today. First up, Stacy Melquist is with us. Hello, Stacy.
Hello.
And Drew Grant is with us today. Hello, Drew.
Hello. Hey, Jonathan.
I am glad you guys are here. I want to get to know you both a little bit better. We'll start with Stacy. Stacy, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
Let's see. I'm from Pasadena, California. I've lived here for about 5 years. Let's see. What do I do? I work at a pharmaceutical company as a program manager. So, but in my fun time, I knit, which is why my online screen name obviously is Stitch and Stacy. And I golf. So, it's a beautiful day out today. So I'm like, oh no, I didn't choose one of the days it's going to rain in Southern California to record this podcast.
What's your favorite place to golf?
Golf course, mainly.
Golf course, yeah, a golf course. No, I actually really like the golf courses in Griffith Park, one of the LA City golf courses. There's a little bit of a challenge getting tee times. There seems to be some bot activity, basically chewing up all of the tee times that are available. But it's a big scandal out here in Los Angeles the time of year.
It's terrible. You guys should protest by going to the club and bringing English tea sets. And where you wanted a tea time, you can have a tea time and be politely disruptive. I think this is a wonderful idea.
Terrible joke. Just awful.
Oh, Stacy, it's so good to have you here. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Drew, tell everybody where you're from, what you do, and something fun about yourself.
My name is Drew Grant. I live in Boise, Idaho. I'm a corporate team leader for a small West Coast-based restaurant chain, although one of our applicants for 2024 is in Jacksonville, so maybe coming soon to a market near you.
Ooh, cool.
Something fun about myself. I recently turned down a raise at work.
Why would you do that?
Well, it wasn't out of the goodness of my heart. I work for one team. We were created coming out of the pandemic with one focus. The post-COVID world looked different from what we thought it was going to look like, and so my team had to kind of like shift. We just got into the groove. We just got our focus together, and we've been doing good work. And we had another team that had a leader position open up, and they offered me more money, just slightly more money, to move over to head them up. And I like what we're doing too much and have worked on it for a couple of years to get us where I wanted us to be. So I ended up staying put.
That's smart, man. I think sometimes people think the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, but if you've got something that you like, something that you're good at, that doesn't always make sense to chase more money.
Yep.
Good for you. All right, y'all. Well, we are going to have a fantastic game today. I am excited about it, and we're going to get started right now with Warm It Up, Chris.
It's time to warm it up on Trivial Warfare today. And there's only one person who can warm it up for the TWA, and that's Chris. And sometimes Jonathan.
Erin, you're up.
I am. So Dad said we can't yes or no list anymore. So instead, I have gotten for you, according to Wikipedia, a list of the top 20 longest running primetime scripted TV shows by number of seasons, not number of episodes. All of these aired on broadcast networks for 7 or more seasons. Obviously, The Simpsons is number 1. We're going to do numbers 2 through 21, technically. I will tell you the greatest number of seasons on this list is 25, and the smallest number is 14. So these are all shows that have had 14 to 25 seasons on primetime network television. Cool?
U.S. based.
Yes. ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox.
Yep.
Cool. Nick, we're going to start with you.
Law and Order.
23 seasons, Law and Order number 2 on the list. Drew.
Family Guy?
Family Guy number 3 with 22 seasons.
Very
Stacy.
good. Not in a row, though.
Just confirming it's all time, right? So I can go back in time. Okay. Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke number, I don't know. It's got 20 seasons. A lot of these have the same number of seasons. Hooray. Jonathan.
I was going to say Gunsmoke.
Too bad.
Thanks, Stacy. Now I don't know what the heck. Scripted, huh? CSI.
CSI has had 15 seasons.
Hey, I'm in there. I got one. Woohoo.
You did. You all got them. Nick, back to you. Keep the train rolling.
I'm going to continue with the initialisms and go with NCIS.
NCIS with 21 seasons. Yay. Drew.
I figure at this point, the show could start bringing back just thousands of characters that they've killed off right now and hope the audience forgot that they died and go with Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, Grey's Anatomy.
That's the one, Drew. I've heard of one recently that got renewed for like a 20-second season that I was shocked by, and I can't remember what it was, and that's the one I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was still on the air. When I saw that same story. No idea.
Meredith Grey was an intern when she started the show. We're going to see her actual retirement in real time.
All right, Stacy, back to you.
Which one of the Law and Orders was stated? Was it just the regular?
I went with just Law and Order Classic. Yeah.
Well, Law and Order SVU, I think, has also been on for quite some number of seasons.
Is.
Law and Order Crystal Pepsi is another one.
It only lasted one season, though. No one liked the change.
It's fair.
So the list I have says SVU has 25 seasons and Law and Order has 23 seasons, which seems weird to me, but that's what the internet said.
Did Law and Order go off the air and SVU didn't?
They're both still on.
They're both still listed as still in production.
Maybe Law and Order took like 4 seasons off, like during the strike or during COVID or something, and the other one
must have
going through it.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, it is correct. Jonathan.
CSI Miami.
Nope.
Damn.
That's the first miss.
Hey, I was hoping you're going to have a lot more misses from me.
Nick?
I'm going to go with one that I'm pretty sure I watched the entire run of live. We're going to say
with 15 seasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dang it.
Drew?
I got a few now. I'm going to go with, I don't know if it was on long enough, but I feel like it was forever and there was a couple new seasons. I'm going to go with Dallas.
Dallas with 14 seasons.
Very good.
Really?
That was on my list. Yep.
Yep. Stacy?
Well, this is, again, just kind of, I guess, piggybacking off of Nick's and saying NCIS Los Angeles.
NCIS Los Angeles with 14 seasons.
Oh, my CSI Miami didn't work, but your Los Angeles worked. Man.
Correct. Jonathan, what else you got?
I'm going to try Melrose Place.
Not on the list or not in the top 21.
Of course it's not.
Nick?
How about Hawaii Five-0?
It is not in the top 21. It's pretty close, so I think it had like 12 or 13 seasons.
Okay.
Can't spell the number 5.
I only have one left on my list, though, so nobody take that one.
Okay. Drew?
Did you give us what the lowest number of seasons was?
14.
It had to have had it. I'm going to go with Supernatural.
Supernatural had 15.
Good job.
Very nice.
Yeah. Stacy?
Gosh, 14 seasons. I think this had 14 seasons. It could be on the edge. Little House on the Prairie.
Ooh.
It is not on my list, so it would have had fewer than 14, I assume. Jonathan?
I'd like to go with Monday Night Football.
I don't
Not scripted.
agree.
No,
to disagree.
I'm suggesting that it is. All right, fine. You want something scripted? I'll go with WWE SmackDown.
Okay, also incorrect.
Damn it. All right. Real answers.
forget-
Really.
What are the
Sorry,
qualifiers?
Nick, you want to say something?
Like soap operas aren't going to count, right?
Correct.
No.
Right.
Scripted
Primetime.
primetime network. 14 seasons or more. We can go around one more time.
Wait, I haven't answered yet. Those were jokes. Even though SmackDown should be a right answer, it is both primetime network and scripted.
Okay. What is your non-joke answer?
My non-joke answer is not going to be right, but
Love it.
I'm going to try. It's not Gunsmoke. It's the other one.
Don't you dare. That's the last one on my list.
That's the one I'm trying to get.
that
Right?
one the last round.
It's not.
No.
It's not
I didn't have it on my
Gunsmoke.
list.
It's a B word.
You're
It's,
a B word.
There's a show title. It's God, I can't think of it.
Nothing to do but give up now.
Terrible.
Yeah, I don't have the timer going, so I don't know when to stop you.
I don't have the answer. I'm gonna guess MASH.
MASH is not on the list.
That's not
All right.
Nick, you're up. Tell him what he was thinking.
I'm going to guess Bonanza.
Good guess.
It was a B word.
14 seasons.
Yeah.
Damn! I had it.
You were so close.
You were all over it.
God.
Drew.
Kind of want to go the animated route again, just because I feel like those shows run forever.
That's a good idea.
I'm deciding between two. I don't think King of the Hill went long enough.
That show ain't right.
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers with 14 seasons.
Was it on the list? Very
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
hoping you wouldn't say that one.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Stacy.
I'm going to go with Father Knows Best.
That is not on the list, alas. And Jonathan, bring us home.
How about Futurama?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Futurama had like 7, and then they've been brought back 4 times for a season
Yeah.
each.
Mhm.
How about
about
American Dad?
American Dad is 20
I can't- I-
seasons.
I-
With there with Gunsmoke and Grey's Anatomy.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
the one I forgot.
South Park is not
South
on a
Park?
network television.
Correct.
But it is like 30 seasons.
It's a million seasons, yeah. So American Dad debuted right after the Super Bowl in 2004. I was in college and we were watching the Super Bowl and we were having some beverages with the Super Bowl. And one of my friends, who shall remain nameless, got very drunk. And in the middle of the first episode of American Dad, like 20 minutes in, he's like, holy shit, this isn't Family Guy.
It is. It is exactly Family Guy. It's the same show.
So anyway, also on the list after Grey's Anatomy with 19 seasons, Lassie with 16 seasons, Criminal Minds,
Okay.
15 seasons. The Jack Benny program, 15 seasons.
Sure.
And with 14 each, you did not say The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet, Knots Landing, and Blue Bloods.
You know what?
Never
I
heard of
thought
those.
of both Knots
Don't even know what
Landings-
those first two are.
I thought of
Yeah.
Knots Landing and Blue Bloods, but I thought both of them would be wrong.
Blue Bloods is still on the air.
It
Yes.
is.
It
Which is
didn't start that
incredible.
long ago. Like last week.
What is Knots Landing?
Knots
It's a-
Landing.
It's a primetime soap opera from the 80s.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
It was
feel like
You had
it's,
Knots Landing
it's-
and Dynasty were kind of, them and Dallas were kind of the triumvirate of that kind of show.
Right.
All right. That is
And
your
that's
Warm It
Warm
Up,
Up
Chris, for the episode. Thank you, Erin. That was tremendous. I'm glad that we could
Hooray.
entertain, if not educate. That should be a tagline right there. All right. So, guys, we're going to have a great time today. This is episode number 476. We are on the main feed. We are 24 shows away from episode 500. We are on the track.
Wow.
If you haven't heard a lot of those episodes, you can hear them. You just need to be a sergeant or higher in the Trivial Warfare Army. Go to trivialwarfarearmy.com, sign up as a sergeant or higher. You'll get access to all of the old shows that you can't get anywhere else. Also, want to remind everybody we're going to be in Denver for a big meetup in July, from July 11th until July 14th. Got a lot of people coming, going to have a great time. We just finalized the house party for that Thursday night. We announced the hotel block on the event page, which you can get to from the Trivial Warfare Army Facebook group. Hope to see all of you there. And today's matchup, it is Stacy and Drew versus Nick and Jonathan. Erin is hosting, and it's time to play the game.
Players. Oh, yeah. Y'all know what time it is. This is Mr. Literature himself, cordially inviting you to the game. This is 6 rounds of trivia goodness. 3 questions per round. Every right answer gets you 10 points. In the middle, we'll take a pause for the cause and ask a midpoint question worth up to 20 juicy points. After round 6, you can wager any or all those points you've been building up and take a shot at the final round. It's a series of theme-based questions we call the Gauntlet. It's just that easy, baby. But this game ain't gonna play itself, players. Let's get it on.
Round 1, as normal, these are things that are current events as we are recording this the first week of April. They will not be current events forever, but they're still kind of fun. Round 1, question 1 category is happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
People thought it was a hoax in 2004. Surely nobody would give away that much space for free. But what service celebrated its 20th birthday on April 1st, 2024? Surpassing 1 billion users in 2016, it is fair to say it has revolutionized the way most of us get things done.
Nick, just so you know, I got a bad feeling about our knowledge overlap in this game. I think we may be.
If by bad feeling you mean exactly the same feeling that I have, that we are going to know exactly the same things, and we're totally screwed. I agree.
Except current events. I expect you to know current events.
Yeah, I think I know this one. I'm waiting for it to be. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
You're perfect, right? I know.
All right, we can go ahead and lock in.
All right. So, Nick,
what do you mean it's going away?
Gmail is going away in like the next year. It's going to disappear forever.
What?
What?
Gmail is being retired, y'all. Which is why it's in the news, which is what would make this a decent decent current events question. Are y'all not aware of this?
No.
So the internet is saying no. The internet is saying Gmail is not going away unless you count the basic HTML view, which Google is actually getting rid of this year.
Right. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm seeing is that there was a hoax, which wasn't in 2004. It was in 2024 about Gmail sunsetting in August.
This is 2024. So is it a hoax?
It is a hoax. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, that's great for everybody who uses freaking Gmail because it was a very prevalent and published hoax.
Yes.
I think it was more misunderstanding. The HTML basic version is going away. However, Gmail does not run on that anymore and hasn't for some time.
Right.
Cool.
Anyway.
Well, sweet.
What's your answer?
We're going with Dropbox.
Yeah, we're not. So Nick, do you still want to go? I mean, it's been in the news, so it's current event one way or another.
It's a billion people. 2024 is when it launched. You needed an invite from somebody in the know in order to get in. I remember all of that.
My only problem with the logic is Gmail is not a space thing; it's an email thing.
No. It's you get a gigabyte of storage. Or whatever it was with the original membership. You could store your emails and you didn't have to pay for it.
Probably like 8 megabytes.
Yeah, whatever it was. Nobody's giving away that much space for free, that much storage space.
I'm fine. I don't have a better answer other than all the other ones I suggested, so we can go with Gmail.
Okay.
Drew and Stacy?
Sure.
Well, I thought I had 2 on my list, and I couldn't remember how long WhatsApp had been kicking around, but Stacy locked in on the other one.
Which is... Oh, go ahead.
And that's Gmail. Sorry, I was giving you a door that I didn't.
He was setting you up to answer the question with your smartness.
Yep.
Yeah, Stacy knew it right away. It is Gmail. The current events connection was their 20th birthday was on Monday.
And the hoax about them going away, apparently. Double connection.
It wasn't a hoax. People just don't understand how the internet works. Question number 2, sports. During March Madness of 2024, Jared McCain inked a deal with Sally Hansen to sell their nail polish since he likes to paint his nails. McCain played as a guard for the basketball team of what university? And that's past tense just because in the future it will be past tense. As far as I know, he still plays there.
Not that the university no longer exists.
Correct.
Okay, we're locked in.
Cool. Nick and Jonathan talk it out.
All right, Jonathan, give me all of your nail polish brands.
Sally Hansen is the brand of nail polish.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's in the question. They want the basketball team.
Oh, who did he play for?
I don't even know who he is. Does Sally Hansen make a particular color, like Tar Heel blue or something like that?
So here's my issue. So I was a huge college basketball fan, mainly because I went to the University of Maryland when they went to Final Fours and won national championships.
And Maryland is terrible now, so you don't pay attention.
Correct.
Yeah.
That is very correct. And I've watched less and less college basketball over the years and less of the tournament over the years. And this year, I watched almost none of the tournament. The one thing I did watch was the Duke games, because as a Maryland ACC person, and I'm aware that Maryland is no longer in the ACC, but I still hate Duke. And there was a guy on the team with Duke blue nails.
Well, shoot, there you go.
Nails.
Let's do it.
I don't know what his name is, but there was a guy
Jared
on the team.
McCain,
I noticed
baby.
him while I was watching it, and I think that that's the way we should go with it.
I agree.
Nick, RTFQ.
Right. No, but I'm saying I'm just trying to think my way through it. And I remembered watching that game, and it's one of the few games I watched.
Man, Nick, you're naming a dude you saw wearing nail polish for Duke. We're answering Duke. We don't have to discuss it any further.
Of course, yes. I didn't remember who it was. I needed to talk out loud so that I could get it out of my memory.
His name is forget it. Drew and Stacy, what did you guys say?
We also said Duke. Actually, Drew knew that one. I did not.
Yep, it's been pretty cool watching him come out on social media and be like, yeah, people are being haters because I'm a boy who paints my nails, and that's real stupid. Stop it. And I love that. He is a guard for the University of Duke University.
Nick literally watches one basketball game, and it happens to be the one where Jared McCain is playing. It's amazing.
I watched a couple in the tournament, but Duke made it a long way into the tournament this year, so I ended up watching more than most.
You should watch more, because the women's final tomorrow is going to be amazing. And the final 40 games tonight are going to be great.
The call last night at the end of the game was a little suspect, I think, but
you score more points in the first half. You don't need that on the back end.
Fair.
I blew off a social obligation last night just to watch the two women's games last night.
I love the.
Is that an indictment of your social life, or a moving up of women's college basketball?
Well, the latter.
Okay.
I love the fact that a recent Iowa game had more watchers, more viewers than like every NBA Finals game except for one, every World Series game, all of these huge events. And it's like, look at that. That is awesome.
No one cares about women's sports. All right, bro. Cool. Round 1, question 3. This is the last of the current events, Jonathan.
Yay!
For the first time ever, prices of what commodity surpassed $10,000 per metric ton in late March and early April of 2024. That made it more valuable than copper, which is kind of a pointless stat for most consumers since the Easter Bunny doesn't traditionally bring you pennies.
No way. You don't sell that by the... Oh, it's not a barrel. I thought it said barrels. It didn't. No.
You see my answer?
I said, you see my answer?
Yeah, it's that we said it exactly the same time. Usually that's a sign to answer that question.
It can't be
that
right.
answer. It has to be. Here, I'll type some more reasons why.
Drew, you're only allowed to answer that if you pronounce it the way that you spelled it.
Well, we're definitely going to do that. No, Stacy, I'm going to overrule you here because mine is just better.
You sound like Nick. Nick says, "Hold on, I'll give you some more reasons why we should go with it." And then his reasons was because I say so.
All right, we're locked in with Stacy's spelling.
Okay. All right, Jonathan, what is the Easter?
I said chocolate too, okay?
Yeah, no, we both did.
Is chocolate
first?
Exactly. Is chocolate considered a commodity?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm fine with it.
Chocolate, tea, frozen concentrated orange juice, they're all commodities.
Okay, then we'll say chocolate because Nick says so. And I don't want to get in trouble.
Also, that's what the Easter Bunny brings you. They don't bring you pennies, they bring you chocolate.
Well, I agree. Obviously, I said it first.
Yeah, no, Coca's definitely a commodity.
No, Coke is a drug.
Cocoa, chocolate.
Okay. Drew and you guys done? Drew and Stacy, can they talk now?
Yeah.
Well, I knew it right away. A feat, and so I have a little, the real way to pronounce it, which is Chippewa. Stacy, being a peasant, thinks that it's chocolate. So yeah, chocolate or cocoa.
Yep, it is technically cocoa, but I did accept chocolate just because that's how most people are going to identify with it.
Yeah.
when I ran this game, or when I ran this question at my game on Tuesday, one team wrote aluminum, and I'm like, what did y'all's Easter baskets look like? Very different than mine.
A lot of aluminum foil.
Right.
And
they
covering
overthought it. They were like,
chocolate.
well, you wrap the chocolate in aluminum.
Yeah, it's clever.
Yeah. But nope, it is chocolate or cocoa. After the first round, we are all perfect, 30-30.
Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Because Nick said so.
Yeah, no, but Nick's the one who had all those answers.
Round 2 are 3 questions based on corporate April Fool's Day pranks. So they're not technically current events, but they are all things that companies did this year because brands are your friends, kids. Don't forget that. Round 2, question 1 is in video games.
All right.
The developers of Cyberpunk 2077 announced that the video game would be available in a format that is unconventional today, but they said you'll be able to purchase a limited edition physical copy of the game on 97,619 what?
Oh.
Right, exactly.
I love it. It's maybe
Which
wrong.
one?
No. The
first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It may be wrong,
Yeah.
but it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense.
I want to lock that in.
All right, we're locked in.
Drew and Stacy, talk it out.
I was originally I threw out CD, which looking back on it was a dumb answer, and then I thought I just started going back through video game options, and so I thought cartridges, but that's not like a set thing. And then the idea of floppy disks came in. I didn't hear this. I have no idea. It makes sense. It's the kind of thing that they would do. The only thing I worry about is like Cyberpunks. I think their crowd, their players are on the young side, and so I don't know that they know what a floppy disk is. So they might want a more legible prank. I don't know, but floppy disk was what I came up with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was having trouble parsing the question, to be honest. So it seems like floppy disk would be correct, or at least a reasonable guess on something that would need 97,000 of something.
When we first read the question, I read it in a way that I think is incorrect. So I thought there was 97,619 copies of the game available on a specific media. So after I understood what we were really saying, it became very fun to imagine somebody buying this on floppy disk and having to store 97,000 floppy disks, which is roughly the size of a full room.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a brilliant answer, Nick.
And mathematically, 98,000 floppy disks at what? 1.5 megabytes per floppy disk would be 130 gigabytes, which is roughly the size of a modern video game.
Something like that.
So I think doing the math to check to see whether we're right, it's pretty damn close.
Like, don't bring math into this. No.
I'm going to assume the math is correct because your answers are correct. It is floppy disks.
Nice.
Huzzah.
Yeah, the nightmare of running this question live was kind of like Drew said, is that some of my Gen Z players were not going to even think to answer that because they'd never heard of them before. It was great.
I looked it up, and they're calling it retro futuristic.
Uh-huh.
We just keep coming up with words.
Which is kind of the theme of Cyberpunk 2077.
Although it was old as new again. Round 2, question 2 is in parks. What national park tweeted that it had acquired a separate, smaller, and distant national park? The tweet said that it made perfect sense since both parks have a word in their name in common.
Stacy, I thought that was the answer, and now I'm second guessing.
Just really quick, I assume the word in common in the names is not going to be national or park, right?
Correct.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'll keep on thinking of more arches. Oh, sorry. Now I've...
It's okay. We're pretending we didn't hear.
Thank you. Appreciate
No problem.
it. You think I wouldn't have time for coffee?
I can't come up with another one. So, Erin, the question doesn't contain what year this was.
It was this year.
Right.
We're going to go ahead and lock in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're going to lock in.
All right.
The only thing that I could even come up with is arches, because I know that I looked this up recently for some other purpose, some other trivia game after the fact, that the arch in St. Louis is called the Gateway Arch, and it is a national park. And then I do know Arches National Park is in Utah. So I think that was the only thing that we could really come up with. I did start to try to think of anything in the East Coast, but I just don't think I don't know the names of the parks out there too all.
Yeah, I was trying to come up with that's the first one that came to mind, and I love questioning right answers, and I felt like it's something else, but I couldn't come up. There's absolutely no reason for me to think that, and I think even if it's not, I think our answer is right. The only other thing I thought of is I thought that there was a national park in Alaska that was an option to visit when I was on a cruise, I think, that has gates in the name. And so I was thinking that it was that one. But if I can't come up with the name, I feel like the more well-known name is going to be the answer. So I say we go with yours.
So we go with Arches National Park.
Okay.
All right. So we didn't have a ton of discussion. I came up with 2 suggestions. We have the option for Grand Canyon and Bryce Canyon because they both share the word canyon, but I preferred Grand Canyon and Grand Tetons because they share the word
because
grand.
Tetons is fun to say.
Tetons is fun to say, and it is significantly smaller than Grand Canyon, so we went with Grand Canyon and Grand Tetons.
Drew, are you thinking of Gates of the Arctic National Park?
That sounds right.
Yeah. It is Arches. The Arches National Park tweeted that they had annexed the St. Louis Arch because they have the same name, so why not?
Very good.
Park humor.
We could have been right. It was possible.
Round 2, question 3. Somebody call the Warrens. Tinder announced a new hiring quest for a vice president of what? The position is to help combat, quote, one of dating culture's most prevalent vices, and, quote, a practice allegedly inflicted on 78% of singles already in 2024.
I know this.
You know this? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Just saw it last night.
Perfect.
Are you locked in?
Yes, I was just waiting for the answer to come through our chat.
Okay. So, Nick, I said Warrens. You got Warren G. You got Warren G.
Right.
Harding. I don't know what the G stands for, but this could be ghosting.
That sounds fine to me. One of dating culture's most prevalent vices.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter announced a new president. What would vices in dating culture be?
Well,
oh, buddy, you have no idea.
There is.
I don't. I really don't.
There
you know,
is
the last
lying.
time I was on a like date with a new person, it's been a minute.
There's lying
nice.
about yourself. There's putting invalid, like a fake profile picture. It could be of AI, like
catfishing.
Yeah, sure. What? So the categories Warrens. This is very important. It's clearly a clue. Otherwise, a warren is a place where small mammals live. Right? It's
is
like
it
a
small
hole
mammals,
under the
or
ground.
is it like a catfish would live in a warren?
A catfish lives in the water.
Right. Like in a cave in the water, in like a hole under the ground.
I don't think so.
Kinda
No,
like
they live on the bottom. They don't do caves.
Okay.
Warrens are more like for rats or mice or that kind of thing.
For bunny rabbits. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Are there any other Warrens you can think of? People named Warren.
Right, but like you said, Warren Harding, Warren G from the Regulators.
Warren Peace?
No. I think you're right. I think it's something like catfishing or ghosting or one of these buzzword terms for things around dating. And if catfish doesn't make sense and Warren G and Warren Harding,
I don't think they stand for ghost. They're both not great for the clue.
No, but ghosting was the first thing that you came up with.
Definitely.
Like that was the first thing you posted. That was your knee-jerk reaction for some reason.
Absolutely. Doesn't mean it's right. We got no time. You want to say ghosting?
I don't know. Is Warren Buffett still alive?
Let's say ghosting.
Okay. Drew and Stacy?
Yeah, I saw this literally last night, and I didn't know if it was real, so I pulled up the actual release. I think the official name of the position was VP of Ghost Hunting, G. Harding. So yeah, we went with ghost hunting.
So the clue was meant to bring to mind Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were the ghost hunters of movie fame. But apparently that didn't work. But yes, I will accept both ghosting and ghost hunters because the question wasn't super clear about what I wanted. Hooray.
Yay, unclear.
Hey.
Yay. And Jonathan, you killed me because you said it immediately. The first thing you said was ghosting, and then you talked for 5 minutes and eventually circled right back. So
I was on ghosting for most of the second half of that conversation. Nick was challenging it.
Okay. Regardless, after 2 rounds, tight game, 50 for Nick and Jonathan, 60 for Drew and Stacy. Round 3, question 1.
Sorry, hold on. 60 to 50?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got the national parks question right?
Yes. Where were you?
Honestly, as soon as Jonathan said their answer, I was like, no, that's it.
I just turned off your brain.
Hear what came after.
Yeah. No, Stacey was
Oh,
right.
man. Okay. All right.
God, I
Great
wish
job,
I was,
Stacy.
I wish I was in a position where I could just tune out and come back and be way ahead of where I thought I was. That'd be amazing.
All right. Round 3, question 1 category is business.
Goodness.
Jump Bikes is a bike and scooter sharing company that was acquired by Uber in 2018 and is now owned by what other micro transport company? You can order their bikes through this company's app, but despite what you might expect from the name, you cannot use the app to download any song you want, which is probably for the best because there was a non-zero chance the song was actually porn.
Which honestly just felt like a bonus.
Yeah.
Is that the name of one of those companies there, Nick?
Yeah.
All right, then I like it because that is one of the 2 or 3 that I was going to name was that one. I like your first answer. I think we should lock it in.
Yeah, we're locked in.
Okay. Drew and Stacy?
I thought of other companies. I thought of like bike and scooter companies, and I thought of Lime scooters. They used to be all over Boise. I don't think I've seen them recently. So my fear is I don't know if they're still around or they have been bought by somebody else who's the actual answer to this question. But with the porn clue, I thought of LimeWire. I didn't use it a lot, but back in the day it was full of incorrect torrents and links. So I thought that could be the answer, but I'm wondering if I'm overthinking it. Could it be like something like Spotify? But I can't connect that to the question itself.
Yeah, I was going back in time to like Napster, and I'm like, I don't remember them having a lot of issues with songs being actual porn. So, and I have actually seen Lime scooters around the LA area, and so it seems like a reasonable guess to me.
You've seen them recently?
Yes.
All right, then I say we go with it. Yeah.
So we want the company. So we want LimeWire or we want Lime. This is where
I think they're asking for the bike company, right, Erin?
Yes. Scooter bike company. Yeah.
All right, Lime.
Okay. And Nick and Jonathan.
My only hesitation on this was I did remember them declaring bankruptcy at the end of last year because I deleted the app off of my phone. And I'm like, well, if they're gone, then I'm not going to worry about it anymore. That being said, I think it was a restructuring bankruptcy. And yeah, Lime is one of the prevalent companies here in DC for the scooters. And LimeWire was a place where I, of course, also never, ever used it that frequently back in the day.
He's like, I also never, ever used it for music.
LimeWire was that service. Lime is the scooter company. We went with Lime.
Yep, that was all of my color. The answer is Lime.
I got to be honest, so I used it a lot. I had a very extensive collection of MP3s that all became useless when Spotify came around.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were thinking you were downloading music and you were actually downloading a video, that's not a mistake that you made. The size difference in those files is extreme. You did not accidentally take 2 days to download a song.
It's almost as much megabytes as someone would need to say live stream a Zoom call and record it at the same time. It's just so much that somebody can't possibly have enough internet in order to make all of that work at the same time. Did you hear any of that, Jonathan, or no?
I heard all of that. It just wasn't that funny. You should have gone with the floppy disk angle. It couldn't possibly mistake that for the amount of space it would take to download 96,000 floppy disks.
Mm-hmm. Lime is the answer. You guys took all my color. Round 3, question 2. Category is you're a musician now. Who played Weird Al in the 2022 biopic Weird, the Al Yankovic story?
Yeah.
We're locked in.
Hold on, Nick. Yeah. I want to do synchronous. Okay, we can have synchronous. All right. 3, 2, 1. All right, but they already locked in, so it's not nearly as fun. We're both saying Daniel Radcliffe.
Yep.
Cool.
Harry Potter played Weird Al.
Yep. Drew and Stacy, what'd y'all say?
We also said the same. Yep.
All right. It's easy enough. Figured I'd follow a long question with a short one. Here comes another medium one. Round 3, question 3. Category is American history.
America.
The period in American history between 1815 and 1825 is often referred to by what 4-word term? Closely associated with the presidency of James Monroe, it was characterized by positive vibes.
All right, Stacy.
Yep. I think that's good.
We're locked in.
Okay. Nick and Jonathan.
If you're 85%, I've never heard of it. Go with it.
Yeah, I'm suggesting the era of good feelings.
Okay. And Drew and Stacy.
We also said the era of good feelings.
And I hope you all get good feelings from this because the answer is era of good feelings. Positive vibes. Good job.
Huzzah.
After 3 rounds, Drew and Stacy are perfect. Nick and Jonathan have missed 1. Scores are 90-80 as we go into the midpoint. Midpoint is in sports. It is March Madness. The tournament is winding down as we are recording this. Tournament's been going on for a long time. Lots of different schools have been involved. I want you to name the 4 teams with the most appearances in the men's NCAA basketball championship game.
So just the championship game.
Correct.
I'm making a list.
Are you going to check it twice?
I don't think that's going to be enough.
I'd say that I have my little list that I just sent.
Men's finals, right?
Correct.
No, I don't think so.
No?
I mean, don't they usually lose way before then?
I mean, there's this point, which I think is a solid one.
That's a pretty good point.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yep.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay. Nick and Jonathan, you got about a minute to talk it out.
Yeah, so Nick, I agree that UCLA, Kentucky, UNC, Duke, UConn, those are all great answers. You talked about Kansas. I'm asking if there's any other like UCLA to me, that's going to be in there. They got like 5 or 6 in a row back in the 60s.
UCLA
50s,
has
right?
11 championships.
Right.
They have to be.
I'm not arguing that. That's the point is, Are there any others like that in the prehistory of the NCAA that had a big run that would automatically qualify them?
No. There's nobody from the olden days where they went on that kind of a run.
UConn has been relevant for 20 years-ish.
20 years, correct.
20 to maybe 25 years, probably 4 or 5 appearances in that time.
Yes. But I think that's it. And I think they've won 4 or 5 championships, UConn.
I don't know that. I don't think so. Probably more like 2 or 3, but splitting hairs.
Okay.
Kentucky, were they good other than the Pitino Tubby era?
Yes.
Gonna need an answer pretty soon, gentlemen.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Kentucky's definitely in the top. Kentucky has, I think, the second most championships of any team.
So, and UNC, maybe not them?
I think UNC has like the second most championships behind UCLA and Kentucky.
Okay. So we're locking in UCLA, Kentucky, and UNC, and we're arguing about Duke and UConn then.
Yeah.
I feel like Duke maybe won every time it went, but didn't go that often.
No, I think Duke has gone way more often than they've won. I think they've lost more championships than they've won, and I think they've won 5 or 6.
I mean, if that's true, then they'd be the number 1 team on the list, Nick.
Well, we're looking for top 4, so there might not be a difference. But 11 championships out of Wooden and UCLA is a no-brainer. North Carolina has
I'm not arguing that.
Times. Yeah.
If you think Duke went to 11 different championships, winning 5 and losing 6, then they're definitely in there.
Okay.
I think that's
then
higher than anybody.
Duke.
And I don't think it's right. I think you're incorrect, but we can go with
it. You're gonna land at my feet if I'm wrong. If I'm right, though, I get the company.
You already have a company. Quit being so greedy. All right, that's our answer.
So UCLA, Kentucky, North Carolina, and Duke.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot weirder if I have to call Nick Dad if he gets the company, I think, for some reason. Couldn't tell you why.
I exude dad vibes, apparently.
What? I have more kids than he does.
I know. It's weird for a lot of reasons, okay? I'm not calling you daddy. Drew and Stacy, what did you guys say? Let's change the subject.
We had the exact same teams.
Oh.
The more I heard you guys talk about UConn, I thought that was an answer. Unfortunately, it was not one of the ones that we gave. UCLA was a no-brainer. Kentucky, I think, is second or third all-time in number of championships, but maybe that's the situation that you were talking about with Duke, where they've just been a lot and won. North Carolina, I thought, but the more I thought about it, Dean Smith went like 20 seasons before he got his first championship. So and then he got a bunch. So now I think it may be UConn instead of North Carolina, but we said UCLA, North Carolina, Kentucky, and Duke.
I feel better that we got the same answers now.
So there is a 3-way tie for first place with 12 appearances. Of those 12 appearances, UCLA has 11 wins and 1 loss. Kentucky has 8 wins and 4 losses, and UNC has 6 wins and 6 losses.
Oh.
The team that sits in 4th place with 11 appearances, 5 wins and 6 losses, exactly as Nick said, is Duke.
Wow.
Wow. How many does, all right. How many does
we literally
UConn have?
You mathed it out, dude. That was great.
I kind of know what I'm talking about when it comes to
that was
basketball.
Great.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
You seem to know a lot about Duke without liking them at all.
Oh, you always know the most about the things you hate.
I know more about
I
the
can
Red
tell you a
Sox
ton
than
about
almost
the
anybody.
Yankees and Duke and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
So, Erin, I just looked it up because I was curious if UConn was even close. It says that they've been to the championship game 12 times.
Men's or total?
I am looking at a different list, which says that Kansas has been 10 times and UConn has been 5.
Women's
and men. Yeah, the women's
that-
team has been
she
every
said
year
men's.
for
Yes.
like the last decade. Yeah.
I
So-
cannot read.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gino Auriemma is one of the winningest coaches in the history of college basketball.
Yep.
Yeah.
UConn's women's team is dominant. The other teams that y'all mentioned, Kansas has 10 appearances and UConn has 5. They are tied for 7th for the men.
UConn has
my bad.
5 appearances.
I had UConn
with 5
I said
appearances.
5.
In the,
I said 5 in the last 25 years.
Yep, maybe 6. Who knows? Before this episode airs, we'll know if it's 6.
Oh yeah. So after the midpoint, nothing has changed except the numbers. Nick and Jonathan have 100. Drew and Stacy have 110, which is to say the only thing that has changed is the numbers. The differential is the same.
Nick, they haven't missed any yet.
I know. This is your fault.
Mm.
You need to hire somebody to go kneecap somebody. Doesn't even have to be related to the game, but somebody needs to be kneecapped for this. All right, that's the end of the first half. And before we go on to the second half, I want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know, I've got something that I'd like to get off of my chest. I think that I want to move our release time on Sundays from 6 p.m. to somewhere overnight. The current schedule has really been challenging for me, and it makes it so that I can't do things sometimes on Sunday that I would like to do. And so I've been thinking about this for a while, and it's really just kind of been stressing me out. And I think I'm just going to do it. You know, we all have different things stressing us out, and we can keep them bottled up for a long time, and because we don't have a safe place to share them a lot of times, right? For me, I consider you guys a pretty safe space, and so I'm lucky, but we don't always have that. And BetterHelp is a great place to have a safe place to get things off of your chest. I've used BetterHelp in the past. I have found it to be extremely helpful. I have shared things that I needed to share and gotten the help that I needed to get. And you can too. BetterHelp is absolutely worth giving a try. It's entirely online. You don't have to go anywhere to meet anybody. You just fill out a simple questionnaire and they can match you with a therapist. You'll change therapists if you want to, or keep yours if you want to. But you should give it a try if you have things that are on your chest that you need to get off. You can get it off your chest with BetterHelp. Go to betterhelp.com/TWA and do it today, and you'll get 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TWA. All right, let's get on with the second half of today's game.
Round 4, question 1. Category is sports.
Sport.
A foul occurs in what Olympic sport when an athlete oversteps the takeoff mark, misses the pit entirely, does not use the correct foot sequence throughout the phases, or does not perform the attempt in the allotted amount of time, which is usually about 90 seconds?
Are those all of the definitions of foul for this particular sport? I'm asking too much. Sorry.
I don't know.
You can't really answer that.
Yeah. These are the ones I wanted you to know about when I wrote this question 2 months ago.
Yeah, I think, Nick, we're both not going to talk ourselves out of this.
Yeah, or we're just going to keep typing the same thing to each other over and over again with a 1 second delay on what we're going back and forth on.
Yeah, fair.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
we're locked in.
Cool. Stacy and Drew.
Well, I think the first thing I thought about was triple jump, because I think the pit is really, I was thinking about specifically the long jump or the triple jump. I'm not sure about other sports that have a pit per se.
Yeah.
And triple because of the foot sequence.
Yeah. So long jump came up, and I don't think it's that because I don't think there's a foot sequence. It's too straightforward. I don't think there's I think I agree with you that hammer and shot put don't have, that it wouldn't be called a pit. Pit sounds like sand to me, which brings it to long jump or triple jump. And I don't think that, let me go through this once more. Does not perform the attempt in the allowed, it's triple jump.
Okay. We'll lock in
There's
with
a clock.
that then.
There's a clock. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Is there a clock? Yep.
Nick and Jonathan.
Foot sequence was the big. We had lots of options, right? The pit meant track and field. Well, maybe it's pole vault. There's no foot sequence in pole vault. The only thing that has a foot sequence would be triple jump, which means you have to put certain feet on the ground at certain points. We said triple jump.
Yeah, moshing is not an Olympic sport. So that would be the other thing that I thought. Right. I think that qualifies with all three of those things. But yeah, so triple jump.
Yeah, moshing when missing the pit entirely is a bad look. Definitely a foul.
Oh yeah, no, and a bad foot sequence can get you totally messed up.
Get you killed in some pits.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's triple jump. Hooray.
Yay.
Huzzah.
Yay.
Should have written harder questions. Round 4, number 2, category is firsts in toys. The very first anatomically correct doll sold in the United States was Little Joey, son of Gloria and Mike, from what classic sitcom, which aired from 1971 to 1979?
I know this. Yeah, it's Stacey, it's definitely
lock
that.
in?
But well, no, because I don't think that's the name of. You're looking for the name of the doll, right?
No, the name of the show.
The show.
Oh, we're locked in. My bad. God. Okay.
Name of the doll's Little Joey. I could have given you that.
Yeah, it's done and
question.
done. Yeah.
Right in the question. I did not read it. Okay.
Okay, so Nick, is Meathead's name Mike?
Oh, no.
Sure?
Gloria isn't. Gloria and Mike were the parents of Little Joe.
Archie is the parent in All in the Family.
But what does the question say? Little Joey, son of Gloria and Mike.
Yeah.
So Gloria wasn't married. Was Gloria married to Meathead? No.
Bro, Edith and Archie are All in the Family parents.
Oh, right.
Their kids might be Mike and Gloria.
Okay.
Meathead is Rob Reiner. What was the daughter's name?
There was a Gloria in All in the Family.
Is Gloria relatively young? Maybe 20s-ish? Early 30s?
I don't know. When was the last time you watched All in the Family?
I don't know, like 20 years ago. I'm willing to say All in the Family. I believe Meathead and Lady had a baby.
And the baby was Joey and anatomically correct.
And I'm willing to think that Meathead's real name might have been Mike.
That's fair.
And if you think there's a Gloria, I think we're there.
Okay.
We're going to say All in the Family.
Yeah.
Okay. Stacy and Drew.
Yeah. I immediately clued in on Joey because I thought that was the right answer because I didn't pay enough attention to the question. You're on it, Jonathan. Archie was the grandfather, and so grandfather of little Joey.
And we went with All in the Family.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right. That too.
Yes. You all said all of the words, and you said the correct words in the correct order. Your answer is All in the Family.
Whew.
The funniest thing about All in the Family that I've come across recently, because we just recently, or at least I recently started researching for around like the age of sitcom characters, just with the concept that Gen Z is aging poorly and how well millennials are aging, and then going back and seeing like how old everybody is kind of a thing that's going on the internet right now.
It's awful.
Yeah. And Archie is 48 in All in the
God.
Family.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
I
just
am turning 48 this year.
I know. You've got like 8 months left until you're older than Archie from All in the Family.
Archie!
48?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, get ready to circle around a piano and start singing.
I think Alice from the Brady Bunch is like 37 or something in the show.
So are you saying that in the show Archie is supposed to be 48, or Carol was 48 at the beginning of filming?
I think both.
Maybe both.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
I would be happy if my near future was huddling around a piano singing songs together. That would actually be a wonderful life for me. I would be very happy with that.
Those were the days.
Mm-hmm. Round 4, question 3. Category is fun and games. French call it Saut Mouton. Romanians call it Capra. In Dutch, it is Bokspringen or Hasseover. What do Americans call this playground game?
I think we're good to lock in, right, Drew? How confident do you feel?
I'm pulling up.
How is that helpful, Jonathan?
I am sure on my translation. So of the first word. So I think we will go with that.
Yep.
Cool.
We'll lock in.
I'm thinking and feeling like this is a game with jumping. I wouldn't hate hopscotch, by the way, but Bokspringen makes me think of springboks. A springbok is a type of antelope that moves very quickly by jumping. It's always jumping.
Sure.
So the playground games I can think of that involve jumping are jump rope, hopscotch, and leapfrog.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have... I like leapfrog in the sense of hasje over. Because if over means jump over or something like that, then it's leapfrog.
Okay. And yeah, so I mean, the ones that I came up with in addition to that were Red Rover, Duck, Duck, Goose, Hide and Go Seek, Bring Around the Rosie. None of those involve jumping.
Right.
I'm trying to do my Latin-based languages in French. Saut Mouton. Is Saut jump?
I don't know. I have no French ability.
This is my problem with being barely legitimate in a ton of languages. Sound. I think Sound is jump. So yeah, it's either hopscotch or it's leapfrog.
I like leapfrog because at least one of them references animal jumping.
Okay, I'm fine with leapfrog. I said hopscotch, Red River, leapfrog. Those were my first 3. You said leapfrog. That was on my list. Let's go with it.
Leapfrog.
Cool. Stacy and Drew.
Well, this should be interesting. Saute means jump. One of the first things I learned in culinary school, so it's definitely jump. We went through some options. Jump rope came up, but we didn't think that was necessarily a game. Hopscotch did not come up, and that's a good option there. But in the end, we came around to the same thing as you and went with leapfrog.
Wish you had said jump rope.
So this question was originally written for a round of playground games, and the hopscotch question was the cover of the Korn album that had the kid jumping, hopscotching off the cliff. Your answer here is leapfrog.
Yay!
Yay.
Is Mouton mutton? Is
sheep?
That's what
it
sounds like. Yeah,
jump sheep.
Yeah.
That's
And
way
Jonathan's
better than
right,
the game they
Springbok.
play in New Zealand.
Springbok is a kind of antelope, just like a Reebok is a kind of antelope. That's where the company name comes from.
Yep. All right.
Cool. Okay, well, after 4 rounds, Drew and Stacy are still perfect with 140 points. Nick and Jonathan slightly less than perfect with 130 points.
Drew, you've had at least one 180 and I think a 190. Have you had a perfect game?
Yeah,
as
the
a
last
team
time I
or
was
solo?
on, Simon and I had the I don't know, at the time Nick said it was the first. I never went back and looked.
It was the first, and then like 2 weeks later, Jonathan and Adam Freed or something. No,
yes,
Jonathan and somebody else had a perfect game with the bonus brigade, so he beat you at 404 to 400. But they were both against me, and they were like 3 weeks apart. And I'm still not at all bitter about it because I remember every detail.
You sound like you're processing it well. Yeah.
By against him,
I'm gonna need a couple of bonus brigade questions here.
Sorry, bad news.
I would like to point out that when Nick says against him, he doesn't mean on the opposing team.
No.
He means as the host.
Correct.
As the host, he is antagonistic to the teams who are playing.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, no, me too. I get it. I wasn't joking about my break glass questions.
No, Chris, I hosted a game with Chris on it, and he was like, "Oh, I want my teams to get questions right." I'm like, "Me too, but not all of them."
Yeah. All right. Round 5, question 1. Your category is lies on television.
Uh-oh.
Despite what MacGyver may have suggested, you cannot, in fact, perform what process with orange juice and ammonia? You actually need a combination of an agent like metol or phenidrone, an alkaline agent like sodium carbonate or borax, and sodium sulfite to delay oxidation.
Is the stuttering in the question itself? No. Oh. I love the way that you process the word. They're like, finadone. It's great.
It was metol was throwing me because it looks like it should be metal, and I'm like, did I spell that wrong? But, yeah.
I'm not teasing at all. I find that genuinely fun.
Oh, good. I mean, I don't care either way. Tease all you want. I should have maybe read these questions out loud once before doing it on a microphone.
Pretty sure, Stacy. 90%.
I say that's better than my grasping at straws.
I mean, unless you remember specific context.
Nope. I don't.
Okay, sorry.
Jonathan, if you're going to read the question and take information out of it, I don't know what to do here. It seems like a ridiculous method.
I was going to the same place that you did at first there, and that's what made me do that. I don't have a good positive thought, though.
Erin, is that acceptable as an answer?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with it.
Okay.
You sure borax is a base? Because it says an alkaline agent like borax.
Yeah, but isn't... Maybe I'm getting my chemistry wrong. I failed chemistry.
Nick, here's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
You said you actively have used finadone before during the process to develop film.
Yes.
It's possible that that's the answer.
That's fair. I was just continuing to talk.
I don't believe it's rust, even though it's my first gut instinct as well, because you want to increase oxidation if you're trying to rust something.
Plus, MacGyver could break out of a locked room by rusting through the doorknob. Like, that makes sense within the context of the television show.
Agreed.
But not if you're delaying oxidation. Getting something to rust quickly, like you said, would be speeding along the oxidation process.
Perhaps you could create a fire with orange juice and ammonia.
So the orange juice is an acid. So the concept is you're replacing the acid with orange juice, and therefore,
maybe he's making a smoke bomb.
I feel like if you mix ammonia and borax, you get chlorine gas, though.
Okay, but you're not doing that in this question. So the three things at the bottom are a replacement for the two things at the top, not a combination.
Both things at the top. Oh, I thought it was just it was something else with ammonia.
Right. No, I don't think so. I think orange juice and ammonia, he did one thing with. Erin is saying, hey, you actually need these three things in order to do the same thing.
The only thing I know phenadone from is a photography class I took.
I like develop film.
Okay. And that fits with the TV show premise as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go with that. Develop film.
All right. We're going to say develop film.
All right. Drew and Stacy.
We also said film developing.
Get out of here.
They did say that.
That was
I remembered it from... I think I remember it from Mythbusters. I've never seen an episode of MacGyver.
Yeah, this was from around on things they busted on Mythbusters. The answer is photographic development.
Yay!
Yeah, nice job.
Really nice job, guys.
Yeah, good job working into that. Round 5, question 2, category is literature.
Literature.
In her poem, Some Keep the Sabbath Going to Church, what 19th century American poet describes the bobolink as a chorister? Although she is known today as one of the most influential American poets, only a few of her poems were published during her lifetime.
100%.
Okay. I feel comfortable. Let's lock in.
All right. They're locked in. You guys can talk.
Sure.
Bobolink? What is a bobolink? What's a chorister?
Is it like a cloister?
I mean, I can describe the bobolink as a chorister too.
It's also a schmoobelfarg.
Lewis Carroll is not a female, right? Because this is
correct.
some Lewis Carroll BS right here.
It's a Jabberwocky. Okay, let's name the early 19th century poets.
Dickinson?
That's the end of my list, too.
Guys.
It's not that. It's just I don't know what a bobolink is. I don't know what a chorister are. So I would love to name some folks that had weird words, but Some Keep the Sabbath Going to Church feels very much like a Dickinson title. I heard a fly buzz when I died, right? It is just a statement.
Right. It's not either of the Bronte sisters. It's not
really poets. And that's the place where I'm at, because a Virginia Woolf or everybody I think of is more like the early 1900s, not the 19th century.
Right.
I honestly cannot name a terrible ton of American female poets in the 1800s.
I mean, who did Little Women. She was a poet.
Alcott. I don't recall her being a poet. Harriet
I
Beecher
associate her with
Stowe,
poetry for
also
some
not
reason.
a poet.
Browning.
Emma Browning, not American.
Okay.
Emma Lazarus. There's a female poet from possibly the 1800s.
As dumb as this sounds from a game theory perspective, it's a female poet from the 19th century who's American. It's Dickinson. That's the answer.
What's the category name, Erin? Famous Emily's?
Literature.
Yeah.
Famous Emily's.
People who share my middle name. Yeah, let's go Dickinson.
Fine.
Great. Stacy and Drew.
I know you didn't like the idea they couldn't name another poet, but I don't know. Like 19th century American, I don't know if Francis Harper was 19th century. I know a bobolink, I think, is a bird, which would make sense with a chorister, which I would guess is a member of a choir. So a bird sings, a choir member sings. So, anyways, but 19th century American female poet Dickinson was beyond that. I've heard this. I'm almost positive it's Emily Dickinson.
Okay. Yeah, the poem is about how some keep the Sabbath by going to church, but, she prefers to kind of just be outside with the birds singing and the wind blowing and all that. And that was a poem by Emily Dickinson.
And Drew gets it right and knows what a bobolink is and knows what a chorister is.
No, chorister was a guess. That was context.
It was
context.
It was a correct guess.
Okay.
Round 5, question 3 category is animal actors. Gizmo, Casper, Oops, Swoops, and Bandit are among the names of performers that played what avian on screen in various installments between 2001 and 2011.
I'm completely blanking.
Ooh.
What is wrong with me?
That is a great.
Do the years look right?
Yeah.
I like it, Nick.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Oh. I got the name.
You want to lock in?
Yeah. Is she looking for? Hold on.
What avian?
Okay. Yeah. Lock it in.
We're locked in.
All right.
Right. I think we were about probably seconds away from locking in ourselves. This is all Drew.
This took me. I mean, I knew it was Harry Potter's owl, and I couldn't remember the name of the owl. I've only read the books like 5 times, so. Angry Itch, in the end, Angry Inch ended up getting me there. So Hedwig.
Nick and Jonathan?
Was their answer.
Nick, it feels really good when I figure something out. Like I don't know it, but I take the clues given and I work it around in my brain and an answer spits out. And it feels good. That's one of the things that I've always loved about trivia. It makes me feel good about myself when I get things right. It makes me feel less good about myself when somebody's like, yeah, it's got to be that. No, that took some effort for me. It took effort. We said Hedwig.
Name another movie bird. Go.
Madagascar. The penguins.
That's not a bird. That's an island.
Penguins are birds.
The penguins from Madagascar.
Yes.
The animated penguins is where you're going for real live bird.
Yeah. The cockatoo from Rio.
They're also animated.
Also animated, yeah.
Most things are animated. They're moving. They're animated.
No. It was a voice actor role. The bird had a voice actor.
Right. It was Nigel.
Yeah. If a bird had a voice actor, it was Alan Tudyk.
Yes.
Probably
or
was.
John Oliver.
Yeah.
Cool. Are the dads done fighting? Can I give the answer now?
Yes.
Okay. It's Hedwig.
Yay.
We all got there. All right. After 5 rounds, Nick and Jonathan 160, Drew and Stacy 170.
Nick, we're having a
We're
fine
having
game.
such a good game.
We should be proud of our
They're
game.
just having a slightly better one.
What did we miss again?
The national parks.
The national parks.
Arches.
Damn it, it was arches. I still don't like that being right.
Round 6, question 1. Your category is marketing. First introduced in 1969, what brand of women's undergarments saw immediate and lasting success due to its unusually shaped plastic packaging and availability in grocery and drugstores? Although it is still available today, sales of this brand have dropped off.
Look at the way you spelled that.
Is that not right?
That's not right. No, not at all.
It's definitely not a typo.
Brilliant, Stacy. I am going to defer to you on this one.
Oh, I didn't realize that what I said.
Yeah, what
wasn't
you
an
said
answer.
was the easy part, bro. We all knew that part. Even though none of us were derogatory, just you. I think it is. We can lock in if you want. I don't know if I'm coming up with anything better.
Yeah, I'm not going to come up with anything better.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay, Stacy and Drew.
Well, I guess I'll just kind of recount our chat because I think we were about ready to lock in as well. I just know it was the pantyhose that was in eggs. They came in little eggs. And then Drew was like, oh, yeah, legs. And I was like, oh, yeah, legs with the little apostrophe. I think it had an apostrophe at one point for eggs, I guess. So I think we were going to lock in with legs.
Nick and Jonathan?
She's got legs, and she knows how to use them. We said legs.
Yeah, the fancy French word for eggs is eggs.
I did not require you to put the apostrophe in the correct place because I don't know where it goes, but the answer is legs.
Yeah,
I think it is after the L. Points all around.
Woo!
Round 6, question 2. We're back to literature.
Literature.
In Indian literary traditions, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism specifically, what word traditionally refers to an aphorism or collection of aphorisms in the form of a manual or text?
Often.
Okay, Nick and Jonathan, off you go.
All right.
So Jonathan suggested Vedas. And I think you're right, Jonathan. You're like, they're like rules to live by. And I was like, I was always thinking of them as like key points, right? Kind of like the 10 commandments or like 10 key points, right?
Right. But like an aphorism can be seen as kind of like a rule to live by.
Aphorisms in the form of a manual or text. So when you think
Like
Indian manual, you immediately
gather
go
all of your a rolling stone gathers no moss.
Sure.
A bird in hand is worth two in the bush.
Right.
Those are rules
That's
to
a
live
text.
by.
But that's a
gather
text,
them into a book.
a collection of aphorisms.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what the question says.
Right. But manual, like a how-to guide.
That's the same thing. A text, a manual, a grouping of aphorisms is a book, a text that contains the things to live by. I don't hate. By the way, while I am suggesting that my answer is possibly correct, I'm not confident in it. It is. Sure. I'm using the best logic I have. I could see if you tell me comma is that too, or something similar to that, I can go with it. I believe that Kama Sutra, comma is book of something. I believe that's valid. It could be that. I'm not arguing against yours. I am advocating for mine.
Sure. I have no thunder whatsoever on this. But I see Indian manual, I immediately think Kama Sutra. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes.
My question was whether Kama means book or Sutra means book.
I do believe that it would be the Kama side. I think that Kama is used in other places. I don't know that I've seen Sutra in other places.
See, I feel like I've seen Sutra in other places, but I don't know that I've seen Kama in other places. So let's go with Veda and not having to flip the coin.
Like I said, I'm absolutely not saying this is a right answer. It's just the answer that came to me.
I think Vedas to me comes off more as less as a manual, less as I don't know. I'm having verbal a near impossible time giving up Kama Sutra when faced with Indian manual. It has to be one of those words. It has to be.
We can say Kama, man.
See, but now I'm sitting here going, I don't think Kama is the right choice. I think it's Sutra.
You have a minute to decide.
I think I've seen Sutra in more places than Kama.
Man, I don't think it's Sutra. Sutra does not sound like the part of that is book.
Oh, God, I think it does. All right, go with whatever you want, because I have... Every time the more we talk, the less confident I'm getting in everything.
Let's say comma.
Go for it.
Okay.
Comma.
Drew and Stacy.
One question a game. I'm sitting here. There's one question a game where I just cannot sit still and I cannot keep my face straight. And Nick, that was the one. You were there about a month ago. I have a friend who's kind of into Eastern stuff, and she's into tarot cards. And I can say her name because she'll be listening. Hi, Angela.
Hi, Angela.
Thank you for the answer to this question. Anyways, I get a card pretty frequently in tarot. Not that I really buy into it, but I get the Two of Swords, and it's about fighting for justice. And she was talking about that, and she brought up something called the Lotus Sutra. Yeah, Nick, I know. So anyways, Lotus Sutra, and then Stacy brought up I was thinking it was Sutra, and then she brought up the obvious Kama Sutra. We said Sutra with I don't know if it's. I think it's with one T.
Sure.
But yeah, sutra.
Okay. So the Vedas are religious texts that originated in ancient India. They're composed in Vedic Sanskrit, which is where that name comes from. Kama is the concept. It's a Sanskrit word. It's the concept of pleasure, enjoyment, and or desire in those traditions. And the word that refers to the manual or text is sutra.
Great.
Well, that sucked. Veda could still be a collection of aphorisms. They just happen to be religious aphorisms. I knew it was a religious thing, truly, but
God,
I didn't.
Jonathan,
I didn't think
gotta
that
tell you,
disqualified it.
After the last game, this feels so much worse.
You have not fought for your right answers very well today, Nick.
Yeah, no, I know. In the last game, I had, what was it, 4 or 5, where I'm like, I think it might be this, and my partner was like, no, it's not that, and I'm like, great, as long as we know that that's not it, and then that was it.
This was not that situation.
No, I knew nothing.
Round 6, question 3, category is mascots. What bird is the mascot of the University of Miami? They are the last to leave before a hurricane and the first to return after the storm passes. Their African counterparts were revered in ancient Egypt.
Oh.
You like it?
Yep, 100%.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay.
Yeah. So I figured Jonathan would know this, not only because of the Florida connection, but because I believe that his name is Sebastian. But Sebastian is, as I used to say, an ibis, an ibis.
Yeah, we have hundreds of ibises all over Jacksonville. I see them every day. So it looks very familiar to me. We said ibis.
And it's a good thing you did, because otherwise the difference would have been even bigger. Your answer is ibis.
Yay. I heard Redbirds is the mascot of the University of Miami, and I'm like, I think it's Red Hawks. Is Miami of Ohio's mascot.
Miami of Ohio. Yeah.
They're the Miami of Ohio. They're Miami Red Hawks. And I'm like, okay, everything in that statement is true. I don't even know where the question is there. I was so lost.
All right. After 6 rounds going into the gauntlet, Nick and Jonathan have 180. Drew and Stacy still perfect with a cool 200. Place your bets.
What a crappy score, Jonathan.
We need to make sure Drew plays a Zakia game when she's coming full Zakia.
Yes.
Get him down to like 150-ish.
Jonathan, once you put Zakia and I together, and I'm surprised we didn't get it that time.
Stupid Rose of Sharon.
Our wager's locked in.
All right. Drew and Stacy, did you guys say your wager's locked in?
Yeah, it's locked in.
Her most recent message?
Well,
No,
I
say it
guess
out
I should
loud.
need it out loud. Oh, it's locked in.
All right. Question number 1 in Ham. In the Toy Story franchise, the character of Ham knows a lot about things like types of trash bags and child locks. This is probably an in-joke referencing a different character played by his voice actor. The character was a postal worker who was full of useless trivia and appeared on Jeopardy! Who was the actor? I'll paste it.
Okay.
We're locked in.
I think so. It's
Yes. Yep.
right.
So we're locked in.
I'm picturing his voice. Yeah, it's him.
Yep.
Okay.
It's him.
We're locked
Okay.
What does his voice look like?
in.
Number 2 in Ham. Although the definition has changed as of 1966, what word goes in the blank in the below statute? Genuine blank hams are those cut from the carcasses of peanut-fed hogs raised in the peanut belt of Virginia, and which are cured, treated, smoked, and processed in the town of blank in Virginia. Same word goes in the blank.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
You want to lock that in?
I think it's better than the town name that you suggested.
Oh, yeah, clearly. I could go with this.
Okay.
Let's lock in.
Yep.
Drew and Stacy, you can talk out if you guys haven't locked in yet. I kind of lost track of who's where.
I think we're close to locking in, right? Right, Drew? Are we locked in?
It's a town in Virginia, and it's a ham.
Okay. I can't think.
I am sure of both of those things. So
Okay.
So you're locking that
as much
in.
as I
All
wanted
right.
to go with my second one, we're locked in.
Cool.
Yep.
He loves those Virginia Beach hams.
Yep.
And finally, question 3. The first evidence of cured ham dates back to the 5th and 6th century BCE in what ancient civilization? They were an indigenous people in what is modern-day Italy until they were absorbed into the Roman Empire in the 4th century BCE, but their name still exists in an Italian coastal region.
Question, 4th or 5th century BC? So, okay.
Oh, you're right. I always conflate those two.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
stood out to me out of the things we've said.
Yeah. It ticks all the boxes. Whether or not it's right, I don't know.
Let's go with it.
Yep. We're locked in.
This particular question gets to the two areas that I'm not so strong about.
Locked in.
Back to the top. Who voiced Ham in Toy Story? Drew and Stacy?
John Ratzenberger. Have I
Just
pronounced it correctly?
Ratzenberger.
Yeah.
Yep. And Nick and Jonathan.
Cliff Ratzenberger.
Number 2, what word went in the blank about the statute regarding ham in Virginia? Nick and Jonathan?
Jonathan suggested honey baked Virginia. That's
I was like, honey baked the town in Virginia?
Yeah. Shockingly, I don't know all of the towns in Virginia, even though it's nearby.
I was very disappointed in you for this.
Dude, I live here and I don't know most of them.
Yeah, no,
There's
especially
so
the
many.
ones south of you. Like, if there's a city south of you, I could not name it. As far as I'm concerned, Virginia stops at Richmond. That's the southernmost point of Virginia. Oh, so we were trying to come up with types of ham or brands of ham or companies of ham that could be a town in Virginia, and we ended on Boar's Head.
Okay. Drew and Stacy.
So I'm from Fairfax, Virginia, and driving down to Blacksburg, I think. On the way down there, near Newport News, there's a place called Smithfield, Virginia. And I think there's a small university there as well, but I can't remember what it's called. Smithfield is a town in Virginia, and it is a ham. Boar's Head totally could be the answer, but we said Smithfield.
Okay. And the first evidence of cured ham dates back to the 5th and 6th century in what ancient civilization? Let's start with Drew and Stacy.
No, don't start with us. I don't know. So I took the clues. I thought of ancient Italian peoples that were part of the Roman Empire, and the Etruscans came to mind. And then we were thinking of coasts. Stacy said the Amalfi. So the Amalfians, if there are people, then that could be it. I don't know. We went with Etruscan because we couldn't. I couldn't think of anything else.
Okay. Nick and Jonathan.
Nick, I really hope we're wrong.
I do too.
Yep, we said Etruscans.
All right.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Come on.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Come on, Amalfians.
Has to be right.
I'm still rooting for Neapolitans.
Back to the top. John Ratzenberger was the voice of Ham. He was also Cliff Clavin. That's why Ham knew so much stuff.
Thank you for your service, Cliff.
Yes. Number 2, the statute has changed since then. They do not have to be peanut-fed hogs from the peanut belt of Virginia, but they do still have to be treated, smoked, and processed in the town of Smithfield, Virginia.
Ugh.
And finally, y'all's angst about this has given me great joy, so thank you. It's really a gift to all of us. The civilization is the reason that Tuscany has the name that it does. That is the Etruscan civilization.
Oh my God.
Boo.
Nice one, Drew.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jonathan, I think this is the second time we've been teamed up together as a duo. I think we're 0-2. Let's never do this again.
But we did so well, Nick. We did really well.
I know.
Actually, we talked about knowing the same stuff, but we are a surprisingly good team. We've teamed up before. We teamed up before in Jacksonville at the first Jacksonville takeover, and we came in second.
We did well there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it didn't help.
I think what it is you and I have the same methodology where both of us will just keep talking until it triggers something in the other person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it didn't help.
You guys only missed 3 questions, and one of them was just down to a coin flip. So I'd say don't beat yourselves up, but y'all do whatever you want. Hey, how much did you guys wager?
I think that the big thing we need to talk about here is Drew and Stacy, because we wagered 179. We're going to finish with 1 point.
Yep.
Drew and Stacy, what did you guys wager?
Last time I tried to talk, I was with Simon, and I tried to talk him out of wagering 200 because because I wanted to win. And somehow that was more important than getting the perfect game. And Nick, as soon as I started waffling, he's like, what are you doing? Just lock in. So with his voice and his shame ringing through my head, I said we should wager all of it.
Smart. Very smart. With the final score of 400. Sorry.
As Jonathan was saying, with the final score of 400-1, your winners today, Drew and Stacy.
I don't think there's ever been a bigger score differential at the end
Largest
of the game.
margin of victory ever.
The margin of victory is 399 points.
When you guys, Jonathan, when you got the perfect game, what did the other team have? Do you remember?
It was like 404 to 68 or something like that.
Okay.
It wasn't 399.
Because I mean, all well wagering teams who are facing a perfect game know the perfect game's going to bet it all, so you never bet at all.
Right.
There is no way to get
179. It was brilliant. Yeah.
So that's why I think it might be the biggest differential, because you're not going to have a bigger differential.
Yeah.
Well, 400 to 0 would be the only thing that would be bigger.
Oh,
it would be a bad wager though for the losing team there.
Yes.
What clued you into the Etruscans? Did you have more than me?
No, we had exactly the same thing you had.
Okay.
We said here's one or two civilizations that existed in that region at that time period. That's all we had.
Yeah.
And one of those wasn't even right.
Yeah, one of those didn't exist in that region that time period.
Yep.
That was also true, which is why Jonathan was able to narrow it down between the coin flip.
All right, guys. Well, this has been a hell of a game. Great job, everybody. Before we go, we'd like to give everybody a chance to shout out to promote causes that they care about. Drew, we'll go ahead and start with you.
Thanks for having me on again. I want to go the charity route this time. I think there are situations and places in desperate need, and there are a couple of organizations that are doing that work. If you can set up a recurring with Doctors Without Borders. That's what I have. It just pulls out every month. The other one is World Central Kitchen. It's run by Chef Jose Andres. They were down your way, Jonathan, after Ian. They have been they've been everywhere. Wherever there is a need for food, his organization is there. And so I would implore you to and if not those, donate to your local food bank. Food insecurity is something that sometimes as humans exacerbate, and there are ways to fix it. So get involved.
There you go. Tim Beggs would agree with you about food banks for sure. He was on the last show. He's always pointing out the need for donations and support for food banks. Mm-hmm. Very good. All right, Stacy, your turn.
Oh goodness, how do I follow that up? I do want to say I definitely donate. I think the other thing that's kind of coming up this year is really going out and voting. There's a lot of small races, particularly that came up in the primaries, that mayor of my town, for example, was on the ballot at that time. So just keep an eye out and make sure you go and vote. I did just want to make one shout out to my online trivia team, the Prague Champs, and that there's still trivia going on Twitch. And it's actually a fun time. And it was a great, the lockdown had very many bad things, but the one thing that it has brought is some of us together from various different geographies to participate in trivia.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. All right, y'all. Well, that is going to wrap us up. So for Stacy, for Drew, for Nick, and for Erin, my name is Jonathan. This had been episode number 376 of Trivial Warfare, where it's not just trivia, it's war. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trivial Warfare. Be sure to check out the revamped TrivialWarfare.com as your one-stop shop to submit questions, join the community, and get access to over 150 archived episodes. Warm It Up was written and performed by Matthew Stevens. This episode was edited and produced by me, Joel Sharpton. For help with your podcast, visit ProPodcastingServices.com.
Real quick, Jonathan and Drew, the Jonathan's 404 points in his perfect game with the bonus brigade was episode 455 with James Hoover, was your teammate.
Oh, that's right.
And that was the game that had the ham gauntlet.
No way.
Kidding.
What?
We've had two perfect games with ham gauntlets.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What was the final score in that game?
It was 404 to 260.
This is by far the biggest point differential
were they
in
asking
the game.
about ham that time? Do you remember?
The category was not spiced or canned, and the answers were Hamlet, Wham, and Shaman.
They had ham everywhere.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is by far the biggest point differential in any game.
It's not. I'd have to look, but I don't think there's anything that's even close. The other thing, and I want to point this out the next time I'm on an episode, if I can give a shout out at the end. The debrief is currently at 72% complete. We're only missing about 100 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So if we could push that, we might be able to finish it.
There you go. That one. Nope. Or
I feel like you're just mashing the keyboard now.
Dude, my fingers are big. My keyboards are small.
Yeah.
I am sending Xfinity a strongly worded letter.
It won't get there because you need internet to send an email.